Okay, my sound is okay. Can you listen to me properly?
Okay, clear.
Thank you. Okay, so let's start our session with Al-Fatiha. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم آمين رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. um, we have how many weeks? I think another 2 weeks, right? Okay. So, inshallah, these 3 weeks we will discuss some contract with some application in Islamic finance and banks. So, we basically finish our 10 chapters. So, these 3 weeks we'll discuss some contract that will be very much popular and well known and important for because it has so many applications in Islamic finance industry. Okay. So the first one is I choose today for today Murabahah, right? Remember in chapter 2 or 3 we discuss about the contract, right? There are many types of contract in Islamic in Fiqh Muamalat, contract of sale, contract of lease, right? Partnership, and then service contract, security contracts, exchange contract, voluntary contracts. So Murabaha is basically a kind of sale contract, right? Murabaha is basically buying and selling, right? But Murabaha is coming from rib. The main word is ribhun. The this one rabah, right? Ribhun. The ribhun means profit. The Murabaha is selling something with profit, right? So this is basically a sale contract. So for this sale contract, if you want to sell, you must have the asset, right? You must have the ownership of the asset. As far as Islamic law is concerned, right? You must have ownership and the asset must be available. So Murabaha is widely used in Islamic banks, and Murabaha is different from conventional loan because conventional loan, they just exchange money for money with extra. But in Murabaha, there is no exchange for money for money. There is exchange of commodity for money, right? That's why it becomes Islamic. So some people try to argue that there is no difference between interest in and profit. And some even do not understand clearly what is the difference between interest and profit, right? Interest is money for money. Profit is money for commodity. You exchange money for commodity or you exchange commodity for money. So money, then commodity, then money, no problem. But money, then money, it is interest. So in Islamic Sharia, money can be treated as a medium of exchange. Money cannot be considered as commodity, as conventional does. In conventional, money has been treated as commodity. That's why they exchange money for money. But in Islamic, no. Because that's why you have to go to Murabaha. For Islamic banks, because they cannot give money directly, that's why they have to buy, they have to get the ownership of any asset, and then only they can sell to the customer with markup, with profit. So this is Murabaha. So Murabaha is special. Why? because Murabaha is trust-based sale, right? This is called Uqud al-Amanat, trust. Where is the trust in Murabaha? Because in Murabaha, you as a seller, you must disclose the cost and profit, right? But in normal sale, for example, the opposite is Musawama, bargaining sale. When we buy something from any supermarket or from any shop, we cannot ask what is the cost and how much profit the seller makes, right? For example, you buy something from the supermarket with 10 ringgit, so you don't know how much the original cost and how much the profit that the seller makes from you, takes from you, right? But in Murabaha, the seller must disclose that this is my cost and I will make this amount profit. That's why it is Murabaha. For example, if the bank sell a home with Murabaha, the cost price is 100 million or 100,000, and then another 10,000 plus will be profit. So the customer knows that the original cost is 100,000 and another 10,000 is profit. So this is Murabaha because it is the sale of trust of the seller. The seller should disclose how much cost he incurred and how much profit he makes. That's why Murabaha is special, right? Okay. So Murabaha represents the most dominant sale-based contract used in structuring of Islamic financial institution transactions. Yes, if you see the balance sheet of Islamic banks, almost 80% in the investment side, right? In the financing side, even more is all Murabaha. They have only around 5% Mudaraba and Musharaka, and then maybe they have Ijara, and they have Tawarruk. But Tawarruk also Murabaha, right? Because Tawarruk also sale contract. So Murabaha is the dominant, is around 90% or 85% at least. 85% of the transactions in investment side is based on Murabaha, right? So what is Murabaha? I already mentioned the word coming from Ribhun, right? Ribhun means profit. So Murabaha is a sale of commodity or asset at the original price with the addition of a markup, right? With adding a margin, whereby the profit is known to both the seller and the buyer. But in normal sale, we as a buyer, we do not know how much profit the seller makes. But in Murabaha, yes, I know that the bank's profit here 10% or this amount, right? So this is the transaction where there is disclosure of the cost and profit. So this is Murabaha. How can we give definition that the price, something that is sold at the original price with the addition of markup. However, the amount of cost and the amount of profit must be known and disclosed to the buyer. So it shall be known to the buyer and seller. So this is Murabaha. All right. Okay. Definition. Okay. So this is one. You see the simple Murabaha. This is the bank. So the bank will buy a commodity from the supplier, right, with 100,000 or 100 ringgit, simple, right? And then bank will sell to the customer 110 ringgit on deferred, on credit, right? So this is Murabaha. The 10 ringgit is profit for the bank. So this one, bank will buy the goods from the supplier on cash, but bank will sell to the customer on credit. So in deferred payment, that's why bank makes 10 ringgit profit. So this is the simple Murabaha. So customer knows that the original price is 100 ringgit and the total or the selling price. Selling price means cost plus profit is 110 ringgit, right? So difference between Murabaha and other types of sale, I already mentioned that Murabaha is based on trust. So this is called Uqud al-Amana. Uqud al-Amana means trust-based sale. I trust you when you say that the original cost is this amount. That's why we agreed that we make a profit. We give you a profit, let's say 5%, 10% based on the cost. Okay. So in this contract, the seller has to disclose how much cost he has incurred and how much profit he is making, right? So Murabaha is considered Uqud al-Amana, right? So Uqud Amana has three types. If you sell with profit, this is Murabaha, right? If you sell without making any profit, you sell at purchase price. So this is Tauliya, right? Sometime, let's say at the last moment or at the clearance sale, stock clearance, sometime the seller sells at the purchase price. Your cost is 100 ringgit, so you sell 100 ringgit. This is called Tauliya, right? And also another one, their sister is called Wadiya. This Wadiya is not the deposit Wadiya. Deposit Wadiya is Biddal, right? And this one Bidwad. Swad, Dwad, right? So the spelling in Arabic is different, right? Okay. So Wadiya means sale and discount price, right? So means you buy with the 100 ringgit and you sell at 90 ringgit. Maybe you want to get rid of quickly. You want to clear the stock because you already made the enough profit that you want to make, right? You want to make, or in any reason, for any reason you want to sell discount price. So this is Wadiya. So Murabaha got three types, three sisters: Murabaha, Tauliya, and Wadiya. But all three, why they are sister? Because they are considered Ukhud and Amana, trust-based sale. Why it is trust-based sale? Because the cost shall be disclosed. The cost and profit amount or margin shall be disclosed to the buyer. However, other types of sale that do not fall under the category of Uqud al-Amana are classified as category of Musawama, bargaining sale. So what we do every day from shopping mall here and there, we do Musawama. Musawama means bargaining sale. We just bargain. Sometimes if we there is a chance to bargain, 10 ringgit, 9 ringgit, 8 ringgit, right? Where the sale is concluded without making any reference to the original price or profit. So this is the difference between Murabaha and Musawama. All right. So Murabaha is a valid contract. There is no issue because it is generally a sale contract. So all the sale contract are permissible, right? Because ahallallahu al-bay'a wa harrama riba. So as long as Murabaha is a one types of sale, so there is no issue, right? This is halal. This is Sharia based, right? Permissible contract. The Prophet mentioned the best earning is what man earns with his own hand from permissible trade, right? From permissible business. So business is halal. And if you make some money out of business, that's fine, right? The Prophet said the best earning. Because why business is halal? Because in business, you take the risk, right? And you make the effort. So risk plus effort, then whatever revenue you generate, it will be halal for you. You can make profit out of it. But you cannot make profit zero-sum game out of nothing. Neither you take any liability, nor you make any profit. So that should not be halal. That is not halal. So there is also qiyas on the tawliya sale. The Prophet approved the tawliya sale. Means the Prophet did sell at discount price. So since sale at discount price is permissible, so sale on markup also is permissible, as long as the cost is known to the buyer. So overall, we know in Muamalat, everything is halal unless it contradicts with any fundamental principle, right? I think this is we already discussed in the chapter 1 and chapter 2, right? So in Murabaha also a kind of sale and it is halal and there is no issue as long as it does not involve any ribawi item. That's why the Murabaha commodity or Murabaha asset shall be Sharia compliant asset, right? And also Murabaha cannot be with the ribawi item, right? Because ribawi item shall be handover on a spot. So Murabaha is on credit. So that's why ribawi item cannot be involved in Murabaha. So no ribawi item, no non-permissible item. Then the rest of the things are fine. Okay. So elements of Murabaha. In chapter 3 or 4, we discuss about the pillar of the contract, right? So whenever we discuss any contract, we must find out the pillar of the contract or the main elements. Because if any problem happens in the pillars, then the contract becomes invalid. So what are the pillars? I think you still remember. Offer and acceptance, ijab and qabul, subject matter, commodity and price, and then the contracting parties, buyer and seller, right? Hanafi school says only offer and acceptance is the important. These are the pillar. Right? The rest are the not pillar, right? But essential. But the majority says no. All these three or all these six are the pillars. Okay, so whatever. That's why in any contract you have to find out the pillars of the contract. So what are the pillars? In the documentation, must be discuss everything clearly. For example, this is a contract, Murabaha, yes. So this is the offer from the customer, this is the acceptance from the bank, and this is the subject matter, this is the Murabaha commodity, and this is the payment, and the seller is the bank, and the buyer is Mr. Client. Okay, so these are the elements of Murabaha. So in order to be Sharia compliant, we must ensure that everything is okay, everything is in line with the Sharia principles, all right, that we have discussed. We have discussed in one chapter offer and acceptance, in another chapter about subject matter, another chapter we discuss on contracting parties, right? So Alhamdulillah, we have learned already. Okay, conditions for validity of Murabaha. There are some important conditions in Murabaha because Murabaha is special. Remember, Murabaha is special. Knowledge of the original cost, right? To both parties. Of course, the seller will know, but the buyer also should know about the cost and knowledge of the profit margin. And just now I discussed, no ribawi item shall be involved in Murabahat contract, right? So there should not be any involvement of ribawi item because it is on credit. So ribawi item cannot be involved in the credit transaction. Another one, important one, the initial contract must be valid, right? So if I ask you this question, what does it mean, initial contract? Which one is the initial contract in Murabaha? Can anyone answer? Because the initial contract must be valid. What is the initial contract? Which one is the initial contract? Any answer from you? Anybody? Okay, are you with me? Hello? Seller must disclose the cost and profit. That one, no, the condition says initial contract must be valid. Initial contract means the first contract. So which one is the first contract? Seller must disclose the cost and profit. That one we already mentioned here. Knowledge of the original cost and knowledge of the profit. Right. That should be known to the both parties. But I'm talking about the initial contract. Initial contract means the first contract. So which one is the first contract? Anybody can try? Anyone else? Okay. I'm not getting any answer from you. Okay, you see, no, actually, no contract from either buyer and seller. No. Okay, you see, there is two contract, right? First, the bank must buy the good from the supplier, right? And then the bank will sell to the customer. So this is the first contract, and this is the second contract. So if this contract is not okay, then second contract also will not be okay. Right? So this is the initial contract. Right? For example, let's say you are as a middleman, you are doing business. So people give order that okay, I want to buy a fridge. So what do? You buy the fridge from the market and you sell to the people. So you make some money out of it. So your first contract between you and the supplier. So this contract should be valid and should be done correctly. Then you can sell with markup to the ultimate buyer. So if there is this contract is any issue, got any issue, then you cannot sell to the ultimate buyer. So in the bank, what the bank does? The bank first buy the asset from the supplier, right? And then the bank got the ownership, and then bank can only sell to the customer. So this is the initial contract. So for Murabaha, the initial contract must be valid. If let's say there is a problem between the bank and the supplier, right? The contract has not been done with Sharia compliant manner, right? In that case, the Murabaha become batil, right? So this is the condition that the initial contract must be valid. Okay. Yeah. So this is important initial contract. Okay. This is the way that the bank practice Murabaha, right? This is Murabaha financing. This is also called Murabaha to the purchase orderer. Murabaha to the purchase orderer, because the customer first order to the bank, right? Let's say you want to buy a big machine, so you need financing from the bank. So you must go to the bank and ask the bank whether bank will finance to you or not. If bank say okay, we will give you finance, we will give you money, then you contract to the supplier and you do everything, and then bank will. So this one, that's why the bank will do this murabaha based on the customer order or customer request. That's why it is called murabaha to the purchase orderer. So in order to facilitate this murabaha financing or murabaha purchase orderer, there are some stages, some layers. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stages. So these 5 stages must go sequentially, cannot overcross, right? For example, number 1, customer will promise to the bank, right? That okay, if the bank buy this asset from the supplier, so I will buy from the bank with this amount of profit. Because based on customer request, bank will buy the asset from the supplier, right? because bank will otherwise what bank will do if there is no customer? So the first relation between the bank and the customer is promisee and promisor, because customer will make a promise. So this promise is binding because especially when bank may incur some cost. Normally promise is not binding, right? But if bank already incur some cost based on the customer request, then promise becomes binding. So if later on, let's say customer say, no, sorry, I don't want to buy, then customer should compensate, customer should pay the cost, no penalty. Let's say bank already incur all the management cost, this and that, 1,000 ringgit, then customer should pay 1,000 ringgit. But bank cannot charge more, right? No penalty. This is just to recover the cost. So the first stage is the promise and promisee. Second stage, bank will assign the customer, his agent, to purchase the asset on behalf of the bank from the supplier. Right? So this is called principal and agent. So who is the principal? The bank. Who is the agent? Customer. Right? So normally they do what they do. They assign the because bank cannot go to the supplier and see, or no, customer already choose everything, but then customer will buy or will make delivery or will receive. Customer will receive the asset from the supplier as the agent of the bank. So second stage is principal and agent. Third stage is offerer and offeree, means ijab and qabul of Murabahah, for to do Murabahah, right? This one is the initial contract because customer will buy the asset from the supplier on behalf of the bank. Now customer makes offer to the bank, okay, I want to buy the asset with this amount. So the bank is ready to sell. So there will be ijab and qabul between the bank and the customer. So this one number 3. Then based on the this ijab and qabul, the bank now will sell the asset to the customer with murabahah. So this is the murabahah sale, right? Number 4 is the murabahah sale. So now bank becomes seller, customer becomes buyer, right? So because this sale, buy and sell is on credit, so now bank become creditor, customer become debtor. Now customer got the liability or debt or loan, Murabaha loan, to pay by installment or by lump sum at the maturity, right? So these are 5 stages. All the documents shall be made separately and shall be signed sequentially. For example, before receiving the asset from the supplier, there shall not be any buy and sell contract between customer and the bank, because it will be selling something without ownership. How can you sell before you buy from the market? So first you should buy from the market or from the supplier, then only you can sell with Murabaha to your customer. Okay, so this is normally the bank will do, and this is Murabaha financing, a special kind of Murabaha for the bank. They will do Murabaha to the purchase order. This is called Murabaha to the purchase order. Al Murabaha lil Amir bishira in Arabic. Okay, okay. So let me finish the things and then you can ask the question. Okay, right? Or is there any question so far? You understand Murabaha purchase order so far? Okay. Can someone reply that okay, or any question? Okay. Okay. Thank you. These are very important for you to understand. It will help you to do other courses as well, right? Okay. Go next. So this is again, this is the Murabaha. You see, this is the first step. Financier. Financier means bank, right? Who give financing? Bank buy asset from the seller with this amount, right? Bank and seller. Seller means the supplier, for example, from the market or from the car dealer, agent, car agent, or from showroom. So bank will pay cash, right? Bank will buy on cash, and seller will deliver the asset to the bank. Step two, the bank sell the asset to the buyer. Buyer means the client of the bank with original cost plus profit, right? And then the buyer settle price at end of an agreed period in one lump sum or in installment. Let's say you buy for 2 years, so after 2 years you pay all the amount together, but it does not happen, right? Customer is want to pay by installment. It's very easy. It's convenient for the client, so they pay normally by installment, right? So this is the initial contract, and second one is the Murabaha contract. Right? So normally, bank does not receive the item directly from the supplier. A bank asks the supplier to deliver the asset to the client, because at that stage, client becomes the agent of the bank, right? Okay, so this is Murabaha financing, Murabaha purchase order. Okay, there are some issue or some points that should be implemented is very important. This one in AOP standard, AOP Sharia standard, AOP mention these things, so it's very important because Murabaha, everything must be followed carefully, otherwise it becomes the loan contract. So, so that it should not be similar to the loan contract, something should be maintained very strictly. Number one, the price quotation or reference letter from the supplier must address the bank, not the client. Because the first contract shall be done, first contract means the initial contract, right? The initial contract shall be done between client and the bank. So bank, client means the supplier, right? Sorry, supplier and the bank, because bank must have the ownership. That's why every quotation, ownership certificate, or whatever paper, the supplier should make with the name of the bank, right? So it will prove that the bank is the owner. So nowadays it's very easy. The supplier will send the quotation, and bank will send the money or will credit the money into the supplier account. So by doing this, bank got the ownership. Now just bank requests the supplier to deliver the asset to the client. So client will receive the asset on behalf of the bank, right? As we show in the stage, the second stage, principal and agent. All right. So price quotation shall be with the name of the bank institution. No prior contractual relationship between customer and the supplier. Customer can just go to the shop and can select and can discuss, but there should not be any contract between client and the supplier. If supplier already buy the asset, then how can he get the Murabahah financing from the bank, right? So that's why supplier shall not be the customer or his agent. Then it will be in a buyback because it becomes the customer asset, and then customer sell again to the bank and buy again from the bank to get the money. So that's his INA, right? Sale and purchase back. So any relationship between supplier and the client shall be verified to avoid the INA, right? So that's why the initial contract must be valid, and initial contract shall be done between bank and the supplier, not client and the supplier. Okay. So Murabaha on deferred payment in gold, silver, currency is the permissible because these are ribawi item, right? Promise is unilateral, right? not binding. So if bilateral promise, which is binding, is not permissible. Promise shall not be integral part of Murabahah. Promise is extra. Promise shall not be put in the original contract. Receiving a commitment fee from the customer is not permissible. If bank requests any commitment fee from the client, okay, you are making the promise. Who knows? Maybe you violate the promise. So if you violate the promise, you have to pay this amount, or you have to pay some amount advance as a commitment fee. Cannot, right? But yes, can take something as security, right? And that security shall be given back, shall not be adjusted with the price, right? Receiving a fee for providing a credit facility is not permissible. So in Murabaha, bank cannot charge any other service fee, any other service charge. In Murabaha, bank, whatever bank want to take, bank can put as the profit. Okay. In the profit, bank will put all the cost, no problem, because it's up to the agreement. So bank can make 10% profit, 20% profit, that doesn't matter. That's okay. But out of the profit, bank cannot impose any other service charge for the credit facility. Remember, credit facility is very sensitive. If you give somebody a cash amount, you cannot take any cent more, any single cent more. For example, you give your friend 100 ringgit, you cannot take even 101 ringgit or 100 ringgit 1 cent. That 1 cent will be riba because credit facility is sensitive, right? So that's why bank also cannot receive any credit, any fee for providing the credit facility. Okay? Another thing, asking a guarantee from the client is permissible. Yes, as I mentioned, you can ask any security or any guarantee. Hamish Jiddiya is permissible in the promise level before conclusion of the sale. This Hamish Jiddiya means the serious money. A customer makes promise. Okay, so that customer is serious to maintain the promise. Bank can ask to give something as the security money, as the security purpose. And if customer continue the contract, that security money shall be refunded back. If customer does not follow, customer violate the promise, then from that security money, bank only deduct the cost amount. Let's say bank took security money 2000 ringgit, and then because of the promise, the cost 500 ringgit. So another 1500 ringgit must be refunded to the client. Because otherwise it will be riba. Bank cannot enjoy this profit. This shall go to the charity. So there is no benefit for the bank, right? On the other hand, bank will lose the reputation, right? Will lose the customer. So this one before the Murabahah sale. After Murabahah sale, bank can ask Arbun, some advance payment. Okay, we will do Murabaha, but you pay 10, as we call the down payment, right? You pay 10% and I will provide another 90%, right? So this can be done. Without getting ownership of the asset, bank cannot sell the Murabaha. The ownership can be actual, can be constructive, right? Actual, for example, I received this handphone, this is actual. But for the home, for the real estate, I cannot receive the asset, right? I receive the document. So if supplier send the document to the bank with the name of the bank, so it considered the ownership, right? So once the bank received the paper of the car or the paper of the house with the name of the bank, then the ownership has been established. Okay? So before getting the ownership, whether actual or constructive, the bank cannot do Murabaha. So next, institution may appoint an agent to deal with the supplier other than the customer. Yes, bank can assign anybody else as his agent to receive the goods from the supplier. But I think nowadays, no need even agency. Just request the supplier to deliver the asset to the agent. Yes, agent will receive on behalf of the bank. But IOFI says customer shall not be appointed as an agent of the bank except in case of the dire need, except in case of the necessity. Yes, it is permissible to assign the client as the bank's agent to receive the commodity from the supplier, but that is not recommended, right? They should be avoided. Okay? However, it is permissible, right? No issue. Rescheduling, rescheduling of Murabahah debt with extending the date of payment in exchange for an additional amount is not permissible, as conventional bank do, right? If customer got default or customer has problem to settle the installment, then they reschedule the loan with additional amount. So this is clearly haram because this is the Jahiliya riba. They say you pay extra, I will extend the duration, right? So you pay more, I will give you the duration, more duration. So that is riba. So if customer cannot pay the Murabaha loan, then you extend the duration with another additional amount. No, that rescheduling is permissible. So what Islamic bank can do? Bank can do another Murabaha with the customer, and then customer can settle the outstanding loan from that Murabaha financing, right? So bank can make um, new Murabaha contract independently or separately. In case of customer default, bank can ask only for the unpaid selling price. If let's say customer becomes defaulted, cannot pay, so the outstanding amount is 80,000. So bank can only take 80,000 from the client. Bank cannot impose any penalty, cannot put any extra amount. That will be riba. That will be interest. Another issue, rebate. Rebate is giving discount for the early settlement, right? In Arabic, it is called ibra. So if you pay early, we will give you discount. This is rebate. So if customer settle early, the bank can give rebate, is okay, but that rebate shall be non-contractual, voluntarily from the bank. If it is put in the contract, in the documentation, as a clause in the contract, then it becomes non-contractual. So if contractual, that is riba. You pay early, I will give you discount. You pay late, I will impose more. That is the whole policy of the interest, right? That is the policy of the riba. So that's why the contractual rebate is not permissible. Only the voluntary rebate is permissible. Voluntary means if bank does not want to give rebate, customer cannot enforce, right? Customer cannot claim. Okay, it totally based on the discretion and willingness of the bank. Okay, so this is all about Murabaha. Um, I discussed details Murabaha financing because it is the dominant Islamic banking product. As I mentioned, around 80, more than 80% of investment side of banks is on the Murabaha. If you say Tawarruk, that is also Murabaha. Commodity Murabaha, also Murabaha. Murabaha original, also Murabaha. Right? So if everything Murabaha. And what else? Ijara and 5% Mudaraba and Musharaka in the investment side. Right? So Murabaha has also many other application. It's not only Murabaha financing. Murabaha financing means Murabaha asset financing. It's also Murabaha trade financing for the export-import business. This is also Murabaha LC. Customer can apply Murabaha LC. Murabaha LC means, let's say, apart from the LC service, customer can ask also financing from the bank. Normally, LC is based on Wakala agency, right? LC means bank has will facilitate the export and import things on behalf of the client. However, with LC also can be integrated with the financing amount. So that financing amount can be based on Murabaha, can be based on Musharaka. If let's say customer does not have money, so customer asks financing from the bank, so that will be Murabaha trade financing, Murabaha LC. If let's say customer has 20% amount only, another 80% paid by the bank, that will be Musharaka LC, right? If customer has already 100%, so that will be only LC, that is called Wakala LC, right? So LC also can be structured based on Murabaha. Home financing, you can buy home, you can buy the car. So retail financing or consumer financing, asset financing, trade financing is all can be structured based on Murabaha. Working capital is also Murabaha, right? Overdraft also can be based on Murabaha. It's Tawarruk, but Tawarruk also got the Murabaha element, right? Commodity Murabaha is also Murabaha. So Murabaha has huge types of application in Islamic banks. That's why it is important to understand the rules and regulation and the concept and everything of Murabaha. Okay, so I think that's all for the Murabaha, and that's all for today. Now is your turn. If you can ask any question or more clarification, you are welcome. Please. Okay, this is the attendance link I'm sharing again for those who join late. Okay, any question or anything? So we discussed basically today the Murabaha. Try to introduce with you Murabaha contract, Murabaha definition, rules and regulation, terms and condition for Murabaha financing, and the various stages that should be done in order to facilitate the Murabaha financing. And Murabaha financing also called Murabaha purchase to the orderer, because that Murabaha is given based on the customer request. Right? Okay, please, if any question. No question? Everything is clear? Okay, sorry, I didn't see. Can you please explain again the requirement for our video presentation? Doctor, I want to ask regarding project. Regarding project, do we need to submit a whole part of project and stated the part where assigned to, or we only submit the part separately? No, number one is about the video presentation and project, and the same thing that you can submit together in one file as you did for the assignment, but you just mention who will do which part, because the assessment will be done separately. Let's say you divide the four parts of the project, the introduction, background, and so on, and the literature review and the discussion and the other things. So the introduction background will do by Mr. A, and then there's second part with Mrs. B, Miss B. Third part is Mr. C. Fourth part is Miss D. Right. So that's it. So just I want to know who will do which part, who, right, so that I can assess separately. So same do also video presentation in the video presentation. You will present your part, right? So no need to mention because I can watch already, right? I can check. So just everybody should perform, should do something. For example, you do in the report, you do the introduction and background. So the same person will present the introduction and background in the video, right? so that I can check, right? I can assess. So the file submit can be the same file, one file only. No need everybody submit separately. No, submission will be on one file, but in the one file, in the first page, in the cover page, you may discuss, you may mention the introduction by this. Okay, Paham? Duration of the video, as I mentioned, that 10 to 12 minutes. So let's say if you four, everyone can present 3 minutes. So 3 minutes is good enough. Right? You don't need to mention everything. You just summarize, right? Within the 3 minutes. So if 1 2 minutes more plus minus, that's okay. Yes, I accept. Problem. Can you state what should be included in the report, the flow or the format? Yes, I think I already provide the structure. Structure basically like the assignment, the introduction, background. In the introduction, you introduce your topic, right? Then literature review. And then in the introduction also you can mention the methodology. Then discussion and analysis, or if there is any special issue, you can put the issue, and then conclusion. So this is just general format, but based on the topic, you can formulate the structure whatever you want. You can design your own structure, right? Not necessary to follow the one structure exactly, but you have to make clear who did which part. Okay, so this is the basic things for any report, right? Introduction, background, literature review, discussion, and if any issue, or let's say you want to provide any model, any structure, any product, you want to criticize any existing product, so you can put there that way, and then conclusion and references. Okay? No, I do not accept video file. I mentioned already. You just put the video in any drive, and then you can send me the link, or you can put the video in YouTube, and then you send me the link. No need to upload the video in the click. Okay? I think because everybody of you are using Gmail, so you can put the video in your Gmail in your Google Drive, and you just send me the link. Make sure the link is open, right? Not restricted. I think that will be more convenient. Cover page also you can put, but what I ask also other always that you put all the links in one file. Let's say the group A or video link. So you can send me the one document, right? You compile one in one file and then you send me. So it will be easy for you, for me to check. And you can put also if the video already done, then you can put also in the report cover page, no problem. But make sure then I have to copy and I have to check that sometimes the link does not work. I'm not sure. So better you send me the link in one file and then I can go one by one. Okay. Okay. Any other question? For each group, 10 to 12 minutes. I already mentioned. Okay, any other question? Okay, so if no question, then thank you very much. Inshallah, see you next week. Okay, all the best for the project. Okay, هذا وبالله التوفيق والهداية. سبحانك اللهم أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت وأستغفرك وأتوب إليك. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.